Good evening, everyone. If you'd like, please rise. If you'd like, you can join me in reciting the Lord's Prayer, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pray with me. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Commissioner Valentine, would you lead us in the pledge?
Attention, salute, pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now call the meeting to order, and Madam Clerk, we'll call the roll. Commissioners, would you please mark present? Yeah, I think we're right. Got everybody present now. Okay, we do have a quorum, and we are now going to move to item number 3, which is consideration of a proclamation recognizing the Seymour High School lacrosse team for advancing to the 2025 PSSAA state tournament. And I have that proclamation here somewhere in all these papers. I can't find it. We have one frame down there that I can use to read from, I think. Yeah. Okay. We have a proclamation recognizing the Seymour High School lacrosse team for advancing to the 2025 TSSAA state tournament. Whereas the Seymour High School girls lacrosse team completed an exceptional and historic 2025 season, finishing with an impressive record of 13-5, with losses including 2 nationally ranked top 20 teams and the eventual state champion. And whereas the team captured both the district and regional championships and advanced to the TSSAA state tournament, where they earned the title of state runner-up. And whereas several student athletes earned individual honors for their excellence on and off the field. Lori White was named All-Region, All-State, and USA Lacrosse All-American before becoming the first All-American in East Tennessee history. Emma Rose Nault earned All-Region, All-State, and was recognized as the East Tennessee Player of the Year. Addison Clark and Mercy Harrell were both named All-Region and All-State. And Eleanor Berlesman, Savannah Roche, and Alexis Vosberg all earned all-region honors. And whereas head coach Patrick Doyle was named the Prep Extra Coach of the Year, alongside with assistant coach Ray Ann Benson, for their leadership, dedication, and commitment to the success and development of the players. And whereas this team demonstrated remarkable teamwork, sportsmanship, and perseverance throughout the season, proudly representing Seymour High School and Sevier County. And now therefore be it proclaimed that I, Larry Waters, Mayor of Sevier County, and members of the Sevier County Commission, do hereby recognize and congratulate the Seymour High School girls lacrosse team for their outstanding accomplishments, dedication, and representation of Sevier County at the state level. Proclaimed on this 17th day of November 2025. It is further ordered that the 1896 bell atop the historic Sevier County Courthouse shall ring in a celebratory ring at 7 p.m. on this day in honor of this outstanding achievement. So you have heard the reading of the proclamation. Madam Clerk, would you please bring the proclamation to the floor for action? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the proclamation. Do we have any discussion or questions concerning the proclamation? Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, please cast your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? If not, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Okay, the proclamation has been unanimously adopted, and it is now my pleasure to Okay, I'll give you that. Girls, we are so proud of you, not only in the Seymour area, but in all of Sevier County. And we have your principal here with us tonight, Commissioner Haggard, and I know he is as well. And I don't know if you want to say a word, Commissioner Haggard, you're welcome to.
I did say I was privileged to stand here with them tonight because their coach is in South Dakota with his business, and my AD is in Gatlinburg at the Jamboree. So I'm low on the totem pole, but very glad to do it because we were very proud of the team. This is the second year in a row we went down and 1 point got us both years. So last year was the first year for our TWSAA sport, and the program's been in operation for about 15 years now. So we're looking forward to great things. So very proud of it.
Good enough. We all are very proud. Thank you. Let's join. Okay, we are down now to item number 4, which is consideration of minutes from the previous meeting. You have received those in the mail. Madam Clerk, would you please bring the proposed minutes to the floor for action? We have a motion and a second to approve that. Do we have any discussion or additions or corrections to the minutes as presented? Seeing there is no further discussion or action, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your vote? Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Minutes from the previous meeting have been adopted. We are now down to item number 5, consideration of reports from commission committees. Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to put the consideration of the reports from commission committees on the floor for action? We have a motion and a second to approve the committee reports. Do we have any discussion, questions concerning the committee reports as presented? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Commission committee minutes have been approved. We're now down to item number 6, which is consideration of reports of officials, divisions, and departments. Madam Clerk, would you please bring those proposed reports to the floor for action? We have a motion and a second to approve the reports as presented. This will be subject to any question that any member of the commission might have concerning any of the reports. Any member of the commission have any questions concerning the reports? We have a volume of reports from about like 40 departments, so there's quite a bit of volume of reports that we have. Hearing no question, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Reports have been properly adopted. We are now on item number 7. First, we have public comment on agenda items, and we did not have any request of comment on agenda items, so we will move to the next item, which is public hearing on rezoning items. At this time, we'll open the floor for a public hearing on the rezoning requests as noted in our 3 resolutions. We have 3 rezoning requests. If you want to speak on any one of those 3, if you would just step to the podium, you have 3 minutes to discuss either one of the 3. We have, the first one is 2005 Wires Valley Road, which is the Pigeon Forge Regional Commission recommending 4. The second one is 105 Raider Drive, which the Sevier County Planning Commission recommendation is against. And the third one is Youth Center Road, and the Planning Commission has recommended 4. So if you have a comment on either one of those 3 items, you're welcome to come to the podium, state your name, and you have 3 minutes to comment on either one of those items. So the floor is now open during this public hearing. Seeing no one requesting to speak, I will close the public hearing, and we will now move to item number 8, which is consideration of resolution 2025-11-01, amending the zoning resolution for Sevier County, Tennessee by rezoning tax map 104, parcel 85.01 from R1 Rural Residential District to C1 Rural Commercial District. As earlier, that has been recommended 4 by the Pigeon Forge Regional Planning Commission, and you have a map of that on the screen. Mr. Temple, do you have any comments concerning this proposed rezoning?
Not much of the question, sir.
Madam Clerk, if you'll move to resolution 2025-11-01. Go. And we have a motion, and we have a second to approve the rezoning. Now, do we have any discussion or questions from any member of the commission concerning this proposed rezoning? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Yes votes. The resolution's been properly adopted. We'll now move to item number 9 on your agenda, which is consideration of resolution 2025-11-02, amending the zoning resolution for Sevier County, Tennessee by rezoning tax map 45G, Group A, parcel 41.00 from R1 Rural Residential to C1 Rural Commercial District. As noted previously, the Sevier County Planning Commission recommended against this rezoning. So I'll again recognize our planner to tell us why they recommended against it.
This is a lot inside the subdivision there along Boyd's Creek Highway. I think it's lot 1. The driveway access on the existing structure is off of Raider Drive and not off of Boyd's Creek Highway. It just doesn't goes against the reason for zoning to create a commercial zone inside of an existing residential subdivision. While the business that was being proposed might not be too bad, but once you rezone it to the C1, any business that's allowed in C1 could be put on that lot. So the Planning Commission felt like it would be inappropriate to rezone it to C1. Leave it as it is, which is R1.
Questions from members of the commission?
Is there not a driveway on Boyd's Creek?
I don't know, sir. The driveway is off of Raider Drive.
I knew that there was a rear entrance to the house.
Yeah. The main entrance is off of Raider Drive.
Would it be an option for her to shut that?
I don't feel like it's still appropriate because, again, it's in a residential subdivision, part of a plat. Once you rezone it to C1, any commercial use that's allowed in C1 could be put there. You could tear the house down and put a really busy commercial business there. So we just don't feel like it's appropriate to change the zoning.
Mr. Temple, the properties on Cherokee Trail, they all have entrances off Boyd's Creek as well. If you look on a map where there's zone commercial at the bottom, Cherokee Trail,
Well, most of those have their entrances off of Boyd's Creek Highway. Most of those are residential houses. All of that land along Boyd's Creek in that area was zoned C2 back in 2006. I think there's there right across the street. There's some apartments or multi-buildings. Some of them are residential structures, but they're zoned C2. And some of them have commercial business on them, but most of them are residential. But all those accesses are off of Boyd's Creek Highway.
so the ones on Navajo and that's not considered a subdivision, right?
They come in off Boyd's Creek. And those were done in 2006 when the zoning map was created.
And this lot withdrew from all the rest of the subdivision.
It is a part of that platted subdivision, yes, sir.
Mr. Temple, is there any reason that the resolution says this went before the Sevier Regional Planning Commission?
Excuse me?
Is there any particular reason that the resolution says that it was voted on by the Sevier Regional Planning Commission?
That's a typo. It was the Sevier County.
I hope so.
Yes, Sevier County Regional Planning Commission. I'm sorry, we'll make a note of that. The other one was Pigeon Forge, so this one was Sevier County.
I think the agenda says Sevier County, but the resolution itself may say Sevier, that's a typo. Other question? If not, Madam Clerk, would you please move the voting screen? Consider the resolution. Now, we'll have either a motion. I need for you to clarify this motion. We'll have a motion to deny.
I think the motion, the resolution says to recommend the rezoning. I think the way we need to do is the vote no. The vote would be to no, would be to vote against it. Otherwise, we have to change the resolution. Resolution is always written to recommend when we write those resolutions. So in this case, I think the vote should be to no.
We have to have a motion and a second to approve it first.
Yes, and that's what the resolution says, and then it would vote to vote no.
We have a motion and a second concerning this resolution.
My motion would be to,
If you make the motion to approve,
I'm not making a motion to approve.
okay, motion denied, then you'd vote yes. Depends on how the motion's made, how we vote.
If there's no motion, it dies for lack of a motion. The resolution does.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's no second.
I rescind my motion.
I rescind my second. Okay. So, is there a motion and a second to approve this resolution? We do not have one, so the resolution dies for lack of a motion.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we are moving to item number 10, which is consideration of resolution 2025-11-03. To amend the resolution for Sevier County, Tennessee by rezoning tax map 51, parcel 90.06 from R1, Rural Residential District to C1, Rural Commercial District, New Center Road. Sevier County Planning Commission recommendation is for. Do we have any discussion? Questions concerning this resolution? Not, Madam Clerk, would you please bring the resolution to the floor? We have a motion and a second to approve this resolution. Do we have any further discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Resolution's been properly adopted. We are now down to item number 11, which is consideration of resolution 2025-11-04 to adopt the Sevier County Comprehensive Safety Action Plan developed under the Safe Streets and Roads for All program. I will recognize our transportation consultant who has been heavily involved in this from inception, Mr. Jeff Mize from CDM Smith, to talk to us about this safety action plan.
All right, thank you, Mayor. We'll get the presentation pulled up on the screens here. Here we go. So the Safety Action Plan is a result of a grant that you all applied for through the Transportation Planning Board, the Sevier County Transportation Planning Board. This grant included the county and all three cities, Sevierville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg. And the grant was part of the bipartisan infrastructure law. there was 5.5 or 6, between 5 and $6 billion dedicated to safety nationwide, and you guys were recipients of this grant. The goal of the program is to increase safety and reduce serious injuries and fatalities on your road network. This is the first comprehensive safety project that's been done in the county. And what you see here are outline the steps that are required by the federal grant that were part of the program that we did. Starts with leadership and goal setting, which comes from the board, comes from you all and your transportation board as well. Great representation there in taking on the initiative of looking at safety. We went through a planning process, analyzed safety, analyzed crashes countywide. There was a lot of public engagement, stakeholder engagement. I'll go through some details there. Equity considerations for the county. That just makes sure that the whole county is represented. Every single neighborhood in the county was looked at. Looking at policy and process changes, things like speed limits, anything that we can do to make things safer. Maybe the frequency of maintenance, what we can do with signing, that type of thing. And then we go through a project selection process, looking at projects that need to happen to make the road safer based on the crashes. And then finally, as you progress through this process, you need to keep your results known to the public as improvements are made so that we've got transparency in the process. All those are part of the federal requirement for the grant. Going into some details, so we looked at a nearly 4-year period from January 2019 to April 2024, looked at all the police reports and all the crash reports from that entire period. There's a database that houses all police crash reports from the cities, the county, and Highway Patrol. And in Sevier County, these are just county-maintained roads, not including the cities. You guys had 5,700 crashes in that time period. A lot of crashes. It's astounding when you really think about it. And again, you know that crashes happen. Just anecdotally, you know crashes happen, but until you really look at the data, I mean, it sort of smacks you in the face. There's a lot of crashes happening and a lot of needs. 47 fatalities in that period, 190 serious injuries, 882 minor. So those are the ones that we really focus on with the program. Everywhere you see a red dot on this map, that was a fatality. Big part of this program is to work with the public. We had a public survey, a website that was up. It was SevierCountySafeRoads.org, something like that. I believe that was the website. It's still active. But we had public input. Really fantastic. Almost 500 people contributed to the website. We also had a lot of pop-up events, open events. We were at the Bluegrass and Barbecue Festival and people just commenting on roads. So in addition to the crash reports, we want to know where do people have those near misses where you pull out of an intersection, you just don't feel safe. So we got all those comments logged, had 1,000 contributions from 500 different people. And within the website, you see some of those were on our map and some were on the website. 216 of them were in survey forms and handwritten forms from our pop-up and public events, and then 825 responses on the website. And we've got a breakdown of the different types of responses, from everything from age groups to residents inside the county or outside the county. So we've got all that data sliced and diced so that we could really think about the road network and ways we could make it safer. Next, we look at 2 different major categories. The top 3 are based on the data, based on the crashes. So we've got what we call a high injury network. That's where your fatalities and your injury crashes occur. Next, we've got a high risk network. That includes your property damage crashes also. And then we have a high risk local network. That's just the local roads. We pull out the TDOT maintained roads. So we wanted to know, because it's skewed because so many people drive those major TDOT roads, we wanted to know not just the crashes that are happening on the state routes, but also on the county maintained roads. So they gave us a good feel for the data and where the crashes are occurring. And then on the bottom, you see where we involve stakeholders in the public. First, we had a community task force, and for you guys, that was our chance to involve the Sevier Leadership Group. That was our community task force. The timing of their meetings coincided with our study. It was a perfect fit, and you had a good wide representation of the county. We interviewed those folks. They got to fill out comment cards and put comments on our maps. We got some really good input from Sevier Leadership, so we appreciate you all letting us borrow them for this study. That worked out well. Next, we had a public safety task force. That was law enforcement, emergency personnel, police, fire. We had working groups with them talking about places that they respond frequently for safety. And then finally, our public outreach with our survey and our online website. So out of all that data and all that analysis, we developed a top 33 list. It just the way the data worked out, but we had 33 specific areas that we recommend looking at for projects to improve safety. And those are mapped here. Of those 33 projects, you take the 5,700 crashes, and about 30% of the crashes happen in those 33 project areas. So you're capturing a third of the crashes in just 33 projects. And then as we move forward, I've got them all listed here, and this is all part of the report. Anywhere you see a little red number, that's where a fatality occurred. And all the different icons where it either came from the data or came from public input. I'll go through each one of these projects. We created a specific project sheet that maps where the crashes occurred. So you see up on the left there are little dots. Each one of those dots represents a crash. And then we've got each one of the crash types represented, whether it was an injury or if it involved a pedestrian. And then we've got just general recommendations on the bottom. And what we're seeing out of this, and I get to the end, but the different levels of improvements that we can make. Some are pretty easy improvements that the county highway department or maintenance crews could go out. Maybe it's trimming brush just to improve sight distance, putting up new signs, improving striping, putting up guardrails. So it's relatively low cost, quick hit improvements that can really make a difference in safety. Some are bigger projects where you need to partner with TDOT. And then some are projects that you may even have to go after some state or federal grant money to improve. The first one here is maybe just something simple as trimming back brush and putting up some signs. So that's something that that the County Highway Maintenance Department has already started looking at to improve safety in these areas. This is one, it's the intersection of Boyd's Creek and Chapman Highway. Big crash problem at that signal. We need to partner with TDOT and look at signal timing, maybe the signal phasing, maybe changing out the signage. Something's happening to cause that many crashes. So maybe it's better warning, advanced warning signs. But again, doing this study highlights the number of crashes and lets us partner with TDOT and have some data in front of them so that they can do a project. And then finally, here's a section of Wares Valley Road. And I just picked out 3 random projects, but this one had a fatality, a lot of crashes at the intersections, recommendations to maybe add turn lanes, some more expensive projects where you might want to go after grant money. So that's a general summary of the overall program and the results. Where are we now? You are here at the end. Now it's up to the county and Transportation Board to start to implement some of these improvements, go after grant funding in the future, and by having this program in place, that enables you to go after future construction money to make some of the bigger improvements. And again, the 3 types of improvements, either the local county maintenance forces, partnering with TDOT, or going after some grant money. So that's the Cliff Notes version of a really big study and a lot of crash analysis. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
The Transportation Board, we're looking at this study and particularly in the 33 areas that need improvement where 30% of the crashes occur. Going to be working with TDOT and local highway department and Donnie and law enforcement to do a priority on these 33 and then just begin tackling the improvements that are needed in these areas. But this study was a very good one. Sometimes you get these studies and put them up on your shelf, but I don't think this one's going to go on a shelf. It's going to be utilized to make improvements as far as our highways are concerned in specific areas. And as Jeff said, there's some of these areas, the cost is not that great to make these improvements. Now, some of them, the cost is going to be more significant, and then we will work with the state and the local highway department and certainly Donnie, our highway superintendent, to begin to address that as much as possible.
Yeah, one of the other really unusual things that was done with your all's plan was the multi-jurisdictional application by you guys all getting along, the county and the 3 cities. Now, if there is a big project that impacts everybody, you can go in together with grant money, and it always looks better when you're working together. So there's not many jurisdictions across the nation that would tackle something like this. And now you've got a final plan, and it gives you the opportunity to go after some pretty big construction dollars and tackle some of these big problems.
Questions from members of the commission?
I'd like to say that this is a major undertaking, I understand, and I really appreciate the proceeding for you. Mayor, I especially thank you for leadership on this. And again, I hear many, many times over my career how Sevier County cities and counties work so well together. And Mayor, it starts with you, and then it goes to the other groups of the city. And how those fit together. Thank you, job well done.
Thank you, Commissioner Partner. Appreciate those kind words. And Jeff attends our transportation board every month. We meet every month in my office, city managers, and highway superintendent, and Jeff, and talk about transportation issues in the county and how we can work together to improve transportation. Been a big benefit, I think, to the area. Other comments or questions? Not, thank you, Jeff. And if we could move, we have moved to resolution 2025-11-04, which is to adopt the Sevier County Comprehensive Safety Action Plan developed under the Safe Streets and Roads for All program. We have a motion and a second to approve the plan. I think we do. My computer's not working up here. We do. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes?
Hit that voice, please.
I think they're advancing to the vote. Now, there we go. Now, commissioners, cast your vote. Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
24 yes votes. Resolution is properly adopted. We will now move to the next item, which is item number 12, consideration of resolution 2025-11-5. Authorize the submission of an application for the historic development grant program. You have that resolution before you, and I'll recognize Mr. Temple, Andrew Temple, to discuss this program.
The sound, or is that okay? Okay. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. So what this is a resolution of giving the mayor's office the authority to apply for a $500,000 historic development grant that is was made possible through this year's General Assembly through the Tennessee Economic Council. And so with this grant, and we can use it for the courthouse, and we're looking at using it for roof renovations of the original courthouse. Obviously built in 1896, a renovation project done in 1971. There's been a little bit of upkeep and maintenance, obviously, that's been done on the building since then, but the roof is in dire need of some major renovation. And with this opportunity, we can use these funds, and it'll be strictly for the roof.
Questions from the commission? Yes, we, if you look, the tower itself is in pretty good shape. But below the tower, in that whole area, you can see some of the wood in that area is deteriorating significantly. And that's what the plan is to use this grant for, is to make the improvements in that area.
Yes, sir. So like the mayor said, it'll be for the roof itself, the wood around the tower, and then the domes, renovating those domes. But also keep as it's being done, it will be taken back to the way it looks today, the way it's always looked, using with the courthouse being in a National Historic Registry building. There won't be any changes made to the aesthetics of the building. It'll just be a newer materials.
Question from the commission concerning a resolution which authorizes submission of this application for this historic development grant.
How'd you come across this grant, by the way?
I actually got a phone call from Representative Ashley that the grant was available.
You wrote this one, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Other questions or comments? Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. We're down to item number 13. Consideration of Resolution 2025-11-06, which supports a Stepping Up initiative to reduce the number of people with mental illnesses in jails. And I'll recognize Sheriff Hodges, who is going to discuss this initiative. Sheriff.
Thank you. I appreciate it. The resolution in front of you is something that goes along with our accreditation. Obviously, being accredited raises the standard, sets professionalism at a different level, which we've maintained for quite some time, at least for the last 4 accreditation cycles that we've been reaccredited at Tier 1. This takes us to another level, which increases our revenue. And what this initiative does, first and foremost, is it goes after and looks after the inmates that we house that have some type of mental deficiency or mental illness. We book about 6,000 inmates a year. And in that time, some of those have some type of behavioral health issue or some type of mental deficiency that requires more than what they have in their normal mainstream type deal. Our new medical staff that we just went in contract with in July provides 32 plus hours of mental health each and every single week. The addition with our partnership of Helen Ross McNabb adds an additional 16 hours. And then on top of that, this gives us resources inside, outside, and even outside the state of Tennessee to seek that mental health that they may not be able to get in a normal setting. It's free, doesn't cost anything, it just requires a certain standard which we've already set and continue to set on a regular basis. The biggest part of it is that we'd be the 4th county in the state of Tennessee. Warren County, Anderson County, and Shelby County, the only 3 counties been able to participate at this point. Much like when we got accredited, we were the 3rd in the state to do that. So we have a great staff of leadership sitting here. My JA is in the back, Steve Lehman. Our jail major over here is Rhett Rutledge. Our training officer in the back is Tara Sutton. My chief deputy is sitting back here is Nathan Carr. Great group of men and women that work hard to keep us accredited. And then we have a tremendous staff inside our jail that works hard each and every day. Fully staffed jail. And this initiative focuses solely on the inmate. There's a lot of people in our jails that don't require they shouldn't be incarcerated. Maybe there's a reason for their problems, and this addresses that. It gives us an opportunity to diversify, to access treatment that we wouldn't normally have. We create county leadership teams that encompasses businesses, other emergency services, county leadership, to look at this and identify ways that we can increase the mental health that they may or may not need, and then get them in the proper care. It may not be a Helen Ross McNabb. It may be an inpatient somewhere out of state that we need to access, and we get to do this on a free basis. This is what we're bringing before you tonight, asking you to vote in favor of that so that we can move forward with that. The biggest part of the conjunction is how we combine it with our reentry program. And what we do in reentry is Sam Rockboard is our corporal that oversees that, and what happens there is when inmates are preparing to get out of jail, this gives them an opportunity to get ready, to get with partners that'll help them find employment on the outside. Well, having a job is just fine, but if you've got a mental health issue or things like that, then this also helps set up treatment and programs and appointments that'll follow them once they leave incarceration and give them an opportunity to be successful, not just in an employment standpoint, but also with their mental health and their physical health. And this is addressing that on a large scale. It hails out of Memphis. and has been successful in about 43 states, 460 different sheriff's offices and police departments across the nation use that. It's just in Tennessee, there's only 3. And I'll answer any questions you may have about that.
Questions from members of the commission? Sheriff, concerning this initiative. Thank you, Sheriff.
You're welcome.
Madam Clerk, would you please move to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Resolution properly adopted. We're down to item number 14, which is Resolution 2025-11-07, which is to approve the Health Department renovation capital project. We have Dr. Maples here. She is Director of the Health Department. I will then recognize Vice Mayor McCarter, who's worked on this project. And Mr. Temple. And anybody else that wants to talk about it.
You've caught us off guard. I've not worked a ton on this project, but Andrew's got some information about it. This is about additional funding with the renovation up at the health department. The bid came in. This is probably going to shock folks a little higher than what is originally had come in on that. And this is a state project, and so they are asking for an additional $140,000 from the county in order to complete this particular project. The actual bid came in from Holtz Builders in order to do this renovation. This is the second floor of the old hospital at $940,000. This is $272,000 short from the needed funding, and so the state's going to put in some additional money, and they have asked us if we will match an additional $140,000 to our original $187. So that brings our total contribution to $327,000 for this renovation of the second floor. Again, this is a state project per se, but of course it benefits our local health department. Andrew, is there anything else missed as far as the project?
Not necessarily, just to let you know kind of like what the project is going to renovate. Obviously, it'd be the second floor of the health department of the health department, but it's going to be adding in and redoing some of the nurses' stations. And the biggest renovation that's being done is adding in a new dental area. It's kind of what needs to come first. You need to have a dentist first. You need to have a dentist office first, and that's something that we do not have at this time. Because we do not have a dentist, so this gives us the opportunity. We'll have the new dentist office, and then with that, the health department will be able to go out and recruit a full-time dentist to be and serve the folks of Sevier County.
For us, this is really a funding mechanism. It is one of our buildings, but again, this project is being led by the state. Is a little bit different than the VA project on the third floor. So this is additional funding of $140,000 needed from the county in order to go into this project for the health department.
We took this to the Budget Committee at its last meeting, and they recommended this. We have questions or comments from the members of the commission concerning this resolution. The old hospital. Yes.
Yes, that is correct. This is old hospital. It is the second floor. Essentially, the health department. That is, yeah. The health department essentially has pretty much the entire second floor of the old hospital. The VA has the bottom floor, the VA clinic, along with our veteran service offices on the bottom floor. And then the third floor, as most of you probably are aware, that is the renovated space for the new VA medical offices and things that'll be up there, along with the county's alcohol and drug programs that are also located on that third floor as well. So originally, this project was supposed to be done in tandem, second and third floor, but unfortunately we were not able to do that because you're dealing with federal and state stuff, and those don't necessarily work really well together. So, but it is our building, Commissioner Parton, so yes.
Other questions? Might add, we're pleased to participate with the state about this, but also very pleased Federal Veterans Administration has chosen to do the renovations for our Veterans Clinic and expand that clinic for our veterans, which is, we think, of a great benefit to our veterans in this area and even all across East Tennessee, because they utilize these services. We have not only our veterans utilize them, but other veterans from other counties utilize the services offered at our Veterans Clinic, and it's been a great asset, I think, for our veterans. Pleased with both of these projects.
Yeah, once that third floor project is complete with the new VA offices and the new medical services, we're looking forward to taking everybody through that project. It's going to be a huge asset for veterans in our areas, and really, as the mayor had mentioned, all across East Tennessee. It's going to be really, really good.
Okay, further questions or comments from members of the commission? Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution 2025-11-07. Motion is second. Do we have further questions or comments? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
24 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. We are down to notaries, Madam Clerk. We have, how many notaries do we have?
51 notaries.
51 notaries. Madam Clerk, if you will advance the voting screen to the notaries. Do you have any question or comments concerning the 51 notaries that's being recommended to you? Not, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Any commissioner like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
24 yes votes.
24 yes votes. The notaries have been approved. We are down to item number 16, which is other business. The only thing I have under other business is to remind you that our meeting in December will start at 5 o'clock instead of 6 o'clock. Christmas holidays, so we will be starting at 5 o'clock in our December meeting. Any other business? If not,
Mr. Mayor, I had a question.
Sure.
What's the progress on the reimbursement from the federal government,
Okay.
if there is any?
Yes. We are presently, 2 or 3 things I can tell you, Commissioner, about that. We are presently waiting to hear from the Department of Interior, because we have, we paid a week in advance, number one, and so we'll get some money back because the government opened on a Wednesday. So we'll get some money back from that. There was some other savings that we're going to get some money back from, and we're waiting to see what that is. And once we get that total amount of savings, our intention is to send invoices to all of our partners, of which there are 8, I think, now, invoices to our partners so that they'll reimburse the county, because the Department of Interior wanted to deal with one entity, and that was us, and we sent all the money, so but we'll be reimbursed by everyone. We will split that, except I think the state of Tennessee is paying a little bit more. So that is where that issue is, as far as us getting our money from our partners. The second part of that is a request from the federal government to be reimbursed that total amount. Number one, if we will make that request of our federal representatives, and I've had some preliminary discussion with them in D.C., and they're going to continue to discuss that to see if they are willing to help us move forward on the federal level with that reimbursement. The second thing that I would say is if we do get a reimbursement, we will then disperse that to our partners according to what everybody has paid. So they will certainly, we will disperse that. Now, the last time this happened, Senator Alexander was in there, and he championed our cause, but it did take somewhere between 1 and 2 years for us to get that money back. So it's going to be a process to get that money back, but we're hopeful, and we're going to be talking with our federal representatives, and hopefully they will take the initiative to push that forward in Congress and reimburse us. So that's where it's at. We have had some initial discussion. I plan to get a letter to each of them soon, making this request, and then follow it up with conversations with them. Other business. We do have 3 individuals that's requested to speak on non-agenda items tonight. I'll remind you that it will be that you have 3 minutes, and if you would just step to the mic and state your name, and have 3 minutes. And first, I have a Mr. Doug McMahon. Mr. McMahon, if you would step to the podium.
Hello, yeah. I am Douglas Shane McMahon. Most of you probably know me as Shane if you know me. I was looking for clarification, and full disclosure, before they stopped, they gave the cease and desist on Boyd's Creek across from Majestic Meadow on the billboards. I was in the process of signing people up for my own business to put billboards up. That occurred, and I thought, hold on, don't want to go any further. But I'd like clarification on just a few things, because I'm still looking at the verbiage that's in the old statement from 2006, the old code, and then the amendment that was done in 21. There's still some very ambiguous verbiage in there. Clarification on what type of signs, what is allowed, what isn't allowed. You know, advertising signs, KUB puts these little internet signs all up and down Boyd's Creek at every subdivision. We have real estate signs up and down, they're short, they're small signs. We have yard sale signs. We have political ads, political signs. I'm wondering if we have all this signage, what the problem would be with the billboards. Because I can tell you, as far as being a business owner, it's an affordable way to advertise for a small local business. The small companies can't afford the billboards out on 66. It's just out of their budget. It's not their advertising budget. The benefit to the community in Seymour has been huge. Player of the week for football is always up there. They just did a thing for the Seymour girls cheerleading squad. Things like that, being able to make public announcements about parades that are coming up, like Christmas parades, things. But it's also, like I said, the business owners, and most of you all own businesses. Advertising is expensive. It kills you. I mean, other than your employee cost, it's one of your bigger costs if you're going to have a successful business. You will spend money on advertising. If we take all billboards off that place, if you'll go if you take the time, drive up and down there, see how many local companies are advertising. It's not HEP, who's out of the county. This is people that are bringing money to our county, people that live in our county, spend money in our county. We've got to give them some opportunity. I understand it needs to be controlled. We can't have, I would like to see us control 5,000 storage units up and down Boyd's Creek, but it's a business, and I understand it's a business. Everybody's going to find things that they find unattractive in growth, because growth is uncomfortable. We talked about this earlier. This county's not the same as it was when any of us were growing up. But we're going to have to adapt, but there has to be reasonable accommodations made. And that's all I would just like some clarification. And I know that Mr. Temple, you'd be the one I talk to about some clarification. So I can talk to him, I can contact him at his office and go up. But I would appreciate if some of y'all would tell me, how we're going to make this right for business owners. Because I think, if I want a heating and air company, it's nice if I look up there and I see, Surveyor, local company. If I see King Roofing. These kind of things are things that we forget about when we're just looking at zoning and people saying, well, that's not an attractive thing. It's also people's livelihoods. So, but, if we're going to ban advertising, are we going to tell KUB they can't put their signs out? Are we going to tell the realtors that they can't put, at the beginning of the subdivision on Boyd's Creek, you can't put a directional sign pointing to the house you have for sale in the subdivision? Because to me, that's advertising. So where do we draw the line? And I think we need a clearer law. I understand why things are written kind of ambiguous and there's some gray area. Because if everything is rigid, then there's no options. But if you all just consider that and think about it, and I'll get with Mr. Temple to find out if he can clarify some of the verbiage for me. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next we have Mr. John Tester. And finally, have Sandra Reed. Okay, I believe those other two individuals made it. So therefore, that concludes the public comment period. We have a motion to adjourn. Do we have a second? We have a second. All in favor of adjourning, please rise. We're adjourned. Thank you.